everyone, this is Lydia at Learn to Garden with me. So today I'm going to show you my garden in this time of the year. We already experienced cold mornings, so most of the plants have lost their leaves, but the evergreens are still doing fine. Of course, they will not lose their leaves, and we have few plants that are still flowering, like this one. So I'm going to show it to you, and also I'm going to show you what I'm doing to prepare my garden for my bulb planting come December. And I hope you stay with me as I show you around. So I'm going to start in this bed here. I just made this bed this year, so I'm very glad about how this come out. I still have many plans for this one, so I'm going to show you this plant here. I just planted this last spring, and this is camellia. Look at the pink flower there, very beautiful. So this camellia bloom in the fall into winter. So if you want a plant that would give you interest in the fall and winter, this is the plant for you. This is an evergreen, so they won't lose their leaves. Look how pretty they are. I'm so glad. I wish I have more of this. So hopefully next year I can get some more of this and plant more in my garden. And then over here, that's the snapdragon. I planted the snapdragon in the spring. They were still little, and then I had to cut them back in the summer, and then they grow again and produce flowers. So the snapdragons do better in the spring and fall. So in my garden, since I'm gardening in zone 8, so it's warmer here, and we have actually, I noticed that our spring is so short, so they didn't flower much in the spring, so I think they do better in the fall. So I'm going to grow more of this from seeds, and hopefully I have more of this next spring and fall. See how that's beautiful. So this is that's the king tots. I have more of the snapdragons here. They're very tiny, so that one didn't flower, but I have more here that's flowering. And of course, this is the topiary I made. I had a video when I made this one. This is an Asian ivy, and I'm going to show you here. This is a rose, a climbing rose. Look at that gorgeous flower. Oh, I can only imagine when that climbs in that one. So that's why we put it there. We will train this rose to climb. So this is a climber. So we just planted this actually late summer, because my order came very late. It took 2 months before they got here, and I was worried that they would not survive, but I'm so happy. I had 2 climbing roses that I ordered. The one is a yellow one, and it's the pink one. The yellow one didn't make it. It died. So I'm glad this one survived. So you can just imagine all of these flowers there one day. be very nice. Alright, I'll give you one more view. And this two there are the true lavenders, or the English lavenders that I grew from seeds. So they are also cold resistant, so they wouldn't lose their leaves this winter. So that's nice too. And that's the hydrangea. I got two hydrangea there over in that pot there. And our Japanese maple is about to lose all their leaves. Some of it are already lost. Right there. So, this bed here, I tried to expand it. So this was very small in the beginning, and I tried to make the bed bigger so I can plant more here. So what we did this fall is we put lots of compost. So I bought, like, I think I already have 9 scoops of compost that I put everywhere here in our garden. So these are all of it. So this would hopefully soften the soil and make it, you know, better. And this part here, excuse me, Pima, can you move a little bit? Can you move here? Can you move? Thank you. And over here, I reserved this for my bulbs. I have tulip bulbs that are coming in December, so I'm going to make a drift of tulip bulbs here. So I try to make this wider to give room for that. So I'm so excited about that. So over here we have this gardenia. So we got 2 gardenias here. So I have shown you in my previous videos the gardenia when they were flowering. So they produce white flowers that turn yellow as they age. So they're also evergreen, so they will stay green this winter. So, and I think it's very beautiful here. And right here we have some, these are our strawberries that we planted in the baskets. So we get new basket, so to protect the strawberries this cold winter. So I think you will be fine there. And here we have this hydrangea. This is the smooth hydrangea. And under it I could put some ground cover. And my ground cover there is the variegated azuga. They will produce blue flowers in the spring. So I think they are very pretty there. So right there, that's the ground cover there. That's the variegated azuga. You will produce blue flowers in the spring. So I think that's beautiful. So it really doesn't look like fall in this side. So the leaves are still very green. So the hydrangea didn't lose their leaves yet, but they will eventually. And these are our banana trees here. For these bananas, I still don't have the courage to cut it, so I just removed the damaged leaves. So we had a bad storm, the first frost that we had, and it damaged many of its leaves, so I had to cut it and leave some of it. So I think they're still beautiful there. And this lamb's ear here, look at that, that's still very beautiful. It will lose its leaves too. This will die in the winter and then come back in the spring. Look how beautiful those leaves are. Of course, I had a video of those when I planted ferns. I have some grasses, but I planted some coral bells here that all died. So I don't know if it's the soil, it's not good, or it's just too hot here, it can't stand the heat. So but anyhow, hopefully one day I'll have to get more plants to cover this spot here. And that viburnum, so, or the what do you call this is the snowball that produce white flowers that looks like hydrangea in the spring. And that other one at the back is the butterfly bush. So there. Alright, so here on this side we still have, so the arborvitae, this one is an evergreen, so that's a good winter interest. And this lavender too will not lose their leaves, so they are very cold hardy. So it's nice to have those plants in the winter. And the roses, of course, will lose all their leaves, but for now they're still thriving. So, and I get some flower there. It's a very nice flower there. So this is the hyacinth bean that I planted late, and I'll let it climb in this house, and they look very pretty. I think it's very nice. And this is a dogwood tree, so they produce very nice red leaves in the fall, so that's very pretty. Of course, this one here will stay. I think this is an evergreen. They don't lose their leaves. And of course, the arborvitae here. And I still have peppers. I still have peppers left. So this is another arborvitae. I got like 3 or 4 of this here. So this would grow very tall, but it's very slow grower. But one day they will grow. Alright, I'll give you a closer view of this hyacinth bean that I let climb in this bird house. I think that's very beautiful. I'm so glad I planted that. I was looking for something that would, you know, climb in that birdhouse that Ty put there this summer, and I'm glad I did it. It's very pretty. Over here I have another hyacinth bean that I let climb in this trellis here. So they still look good. And this is the blueberry bush. I know most of us love blueberries. That's one of my favorite fruit. So we have 2 blueberries planted here. Last year it produced some fruits, but the birds got it before us. So Ty promised this year that he will put some bird netting, so we'll get some fruits. Alright, so that's the view. And that oak leaf hydrangea looks so pretty. So isn't that wonderful to have a plant that has interest all year round? So that oak leaf hydrangea produce beautiful flowers in the spring, and then now in the fall those leaves just turned red and they stay there. They never fall yet. So I'm very glad. And of course that's so pretty there, the Japanese maple beside it. The Japanese maple will eventually lose all their leaves. So in this side I'm also trying to widen the bed so I can plant a drift of tulips here this December. So I have a beautiful show of tulips in the spring. So I put lots and lots of compost. So I think the plants will be happy. Still have my peppers. Still have beautiful peppers. That's the other blueberry bush, or the blueberry. It's supposed to turn red too, the leaves, before it falls. So I think this bed looks better. And the peppers actually are really a good idea because I don't have many plants planted here yet, so they fill the space and it gave me lots of peppers. We love to eat peppers. Ty and I love it. So that's a good filler. Now if you don't have any more plants like me, I can't think yet of what plants to plant. So I'm still learning and trying to find plants to put in the space. So while waiting for me to acquire those plants, so I just put peppers there. So that's how I did it. I got that beautiful grass there. So this is the Yule grass. So I just learned that grasses are also very good in the bed or in the garden because they provide movement. Now you can see it sways in the breeze. So I'm wanting to plant more grasses. And early in the fall, early on I planted some cherry tomatoes, and I still have this cherry here. Didn't produce well in the summer, so it's very slow, but it stays and still producing, so I can eat this one. I can just pop this in my mouth. Very sweet. So this is the new bed I'm making. So I'm hoping that I can add more plants. And that's a red bud there. It was actually broken and we just tried to plant it there. So hopefully one day it will grow taller and nicer. I have some yarrow here and I put some cover ground cover, the azuga, which has the flower there. So I think it can produce flower in the fall too, because that's the flower. Very beautiful. And this is the Weigela that I planted in the spring, so it started to lose its leaves. And that's the dogwood there, so that also changed color. See, they're so beautiful. Now in this bed by the pool, so as you can see, I have a tiny Japanese maple here, and the lantana are still blooming really good. Look at those flowers. Oh, that's just so pretty. And the butterfly, love it. Look at that butterfly. It's so amazing. I saw more butterflies now in the fall than in the spring. There were lots of bees in the spring here, but now I see lots of butterflies. So here, some of my plants are looking tired. This used to be they bloom a lot in the summer. This is the canna lilies, and they're about to die, but they will come back. And of course the bee balm, or the Peter's monarda, so they change color too, the leaves. It's so pretty. And we have more of the lantana here, and that's the canna lilies. And of course I got the nandina there that produce very nice leaves. And I still have one canna lilies here that produce flowers. Oh, that's so pretty. Finally able to get a cover for our pool. So we just got it installed last week, so the leaves can't go into that pool. So let's go over it in the front garden. So I have not done anything yet here. I didn't plant some cold loving plants yet because they still look good. See, the begonias are still looking good. I have to dig them and put it in the pot so they can grow bigger, and I'll put them back next year. So I'm going to plant some pansies here just like before. So here they're still looking good. So my flowers there, the impatiens and the supertunias, they are still looking good. So maybe this weekend or next week I will start planting some cold loving flowers, but for now they still look beautiful here. That lamb's ear there is going to die in the winter, but I'm just loving the space here. So this is camellia. It's so funny because this camellia was planted by the original owner, the first owner of this house, and it was very little. Ty wanted to pull it. I said, I told him, no, this is camellia and this is a very nice plant. Let me take care of it. So I tried to fertilize it and it just grew fast. And I'm making it like a topiary. I'm going to cut it some more and make make it look beautiful. So that's so this is red. Okay, that roses there are not supposed to be there, so that's one of those mistakes. It won't flower, they don't get much light in there. So over here I'm planning to also widen this bed here so I can plant tulip bulbs in here. So that's going to be my project this weekend. So I'm going to be off this weekend so I can work more hours in the garden and make it ready for bulb planting. So look at that cabbage there, and look at them, they're very pretty. So I'm very glad how this garden evolved here. The banana tree is still looking good. I cut some of the damaged leaves too, and they still look beautiful. So one more thing, I have something to show you here. These are the vegetable bed that we made, and we planted some kale, some broccoli that we were not successful actually growing in the spring, and some lettuce and some carrots. The bed was not really good yet, so I put more compost this time, and hopefully it would soften the soil and fertilize it as well. And I left one lettuce here that go to seed, and all the seeds came up. So we decided to just seed this bed with lettuce all over it. So those tiny ones there are the lettuce that just came out. So we are hoping that we will have more success of this lettuce this fall, because we have a very short spring, so they don't like it. So it gets so warm already that we don't get lots of the leaves. So this fall I'm hoping that we will be able to harvest lots of lettuce. Ty likes to make burrito and I love it, so we are going to use this lettuce. So now I'm going to give you an update of the garlic that I have planted in this bed. Look at them, they're growing. Oh, I'm so glad. I got 78 garlic cloves that I have planted here, and I think all of them came out. So for garlic, they need to have a cold weather for them to make that big bulb. So that's I have two kinds here. These are the, I think these are the hard neck here on this side. And the roses is still flowering. It's very nice weather. I just counted the garlic that I know I planted 78 cloves, and all of them came out. So I'm very excited about it. I will have 78 cloves, or no, 78 heads, garlic heads next year. So I just can't believe how easy to do it, and just, you know, wait. So it will take a little while, but you just have to wait. and the effort you put into it is very little. So I'm so glad I have decided to plant it. So I hope you enjoy watching this video. I hope you learned something. So as I said before, I'm a beginner gardener and I'm learning from other gardeners. And I know it takes a while to learn, but I'm learning every day and I'm trying plants. My climate is not the same as the climate that the other gardeners I follow, but it's a trial and error. Just have to try, and if it's not going to work, then I will try something else. That's just what gardening is all about. And actually it can apply to life too, you know. It's trial and error. We make mistakes, and I think I make more mistakes than success actually. But gardening is fun. It requires lots of time, which I do not have right now because I'm working. I have a full-time job and a part-time job. I work in 2 hospitals, so I only have very few hours to work in the garden. I wish there are 48 hours in a day actually, but that's just not possible. So when I have time, I grab every opportunity to work in the garden. And I wish I have more time, but I have to work in the hospital right now, and I have make commitments, so that's just life is. I hope someday I will be able to work more hours in the garden, although Ty probably won't be happy because he said that if I would retire, or if I am retired now, there's probably no more lawn to mow. He just loves his grass. That every time I start digging, he said, "What are you doing?" But yeah, so I hope you enjoy watching, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.